Well, that's my grandmother. Rebecca.
That's Jack.
That's your mother.
That's my
Lily.
mother who's here.
Who's here to
So the picture is approximately 74 years old.
And that's,
This is Sarah and Rivka, which is, Sarah is my grandmother, Rivka is Stuart's grandmother, Dora married Ralph Galba. No, married my uncle A. Galba.
This is Ralph.
This is Ralph. He was their only child. Right. I'm trying to look. This was Shana. She actually, besides being a dressmaker, all the women were dressmakers and the men were tailors. Except for my grandfather, Walt Haskin, who was actually a musician. These are the three children of Anna, which were Lily, Dave, and Sam. Sam was the one who went to Colorado in Denver.
Well, yeah, on the front cover of the magazine which you have is a picture of Eurykin and the family, presumably outside the house that he always lived in St. Gathers.
Most of what I was Most of what I was going to say has actually been covered. A lot of it has been covered by Millie. But as I say, Sarah was my grandmother, and they were dressmakers, and they did what most of the families did. Hannah came over first. She worked in the sweatshops in the East End of London, and to bring my grandmother Sarah over. Then consequently Sarah worked to bring over Rivka, and they all worked to bring over Dora. Unfortunately, the other sisters never came over. They married and perished with their families. So, my grandmother, as you've already heard, returned to Poland and was there for the duration of the war. When she did come back to England, the reason she went was because she'd had so many miscarriages and she needed a break, but she didn't get a very good one. After she came back, my grandmother was born, and they lived in an area called Finsbury Park, which wasn't a bad area then, but it was pretty rough at the moment. Now, one of the reasons that I actually started working on the family tree was my grandmother died when I was 13. We didn't have a very big family, but I knew out there in America there was a hell of a lot of family. I never anticipated for one single moment it was as big as it is. I came over to America and I started making telephone calls, and it just expanded, and that is absolutely fantastic. But like all the other families, they worked hard, they slaved to bring people over, to get them out of Poland. My sort of notes have all been messed up because it's gone on, but as I say, Sarah Risher was a fantastic woman, and that is a person that you all had, even though you might not know it, photographs of. As I was travelling, people kept saying to me, "Who's this woman? Who's this woman?" And it was always Sarah Risher. She must have had photographs sent all over the country. It's totally amazing. In fact, a couple of people here today have actually shown me photographs and not known who they were. And it's Millie's grandmother. Yeah. No, that's my one.
Oh, that's you.
Actually, we'll stick this one on. But you can see the fantastic clothing they made. They really were unbelievable dressmakers and tailors.
Into the mic.
You can see by the clothing they wore, they were absolutely first-class dressmakers and tailors. They were always well turned out from what I've heard. I just want to show you a photograph of my grandmother. It hasn't come out that well, but in their early days, these ladies were absolutely stunning. Sorry. I've got to just cut out those because it's already been said. Anyway, let me get back onto the family tree. I worked on it and was unable to go any further.